Growing as a learner is certainly grounded in cultivating the cognitive gifts you were born with. But before you can capitalize on your strengths as a learner and access your inner savant, you must let go of behaviors around learning that are getting in your way. Why is this so important? Confronting the unknown or learning a skill or topic that isn't intuitive feels fundamentally uncomfortable. This discomfort can either be the basis of a learning experience or a catalyst for a defensive reaction, what's called a stress response. Over time, missing out on learning experience after learning experience diminishes your ability to navigate the world effectively, making life more frustrating and undermining the value you could add to the world. Your learning environment makes all the difference. In a calm environment, a potential stressor can be assimilated as a learning experience through the appropriate coordination of deductive and inductive reasoning. A stressed environment, on the other hand, makes it much more likely that you'll respond defensively and miss out on a learning experience altogether. That's because the more stressed humans get, the more the neurological process underlying learning flips to one of survival. Survival involves using what you already know to protect yourself and your loved ones. It also limits your perception, input, in favor of devoting energy to your reaction, output. This cognitive response certainly helps us survive in a pinch, but it can work against us in damaging ways when stress becomes so integral to our environment that it becomes toxic. In this state, we become obsessed with socially constructed realities, as survival in today's world primarily involves avoiding social rejection. We internalize our perceptions through the biased lens of one or more of our four survival instincts: fight, flight, appease, and freeze. These forces contribute to the dominance of our unconscious ego, the story we tell ourselves to survive. Because of the countless sources of neurological stressors affecting us in the modern world, such is the condition of modern life. On the one hand, physiological stressors are disrupting children's normal brain function at a rate we've never witnessed before. Neurotoxins from industrial chemicals and indoor mold and chronic diseases like Lyme's disease and long COVID have become so entrenched in our experience of modern life that we hardly notice their effect. Factory farmed and processed food disrupt our digestive systems, causing inflammation that undermines brain function, and our circadian rhythms are disrupted by sleep patterns demanded by school and work that don't align with our biological needs. Meanwhile, modern parenting and school thrust children into a world of increasingly complicated social realities that devastate our psychology. Starting around the age of 3, children absorb and begin to live in a world of anxiety and insecurity around measuring up to society's standards, the same world that their parents were indoctrinated into when they were children. GPA inflation, college admissions competition, and social media reinforce students' perceived need to constantly worry about living up to external expectations, making learning in middle and high school feel like walking on eggshells. These forces are especially damaging among the smartest and most sensitive among us. In fact, the smarter a person is in a stressed learning environment, the more likely they'll adopt one or more of the 5 unconscious ego or uEgo behavior patterns. Let's take a look at each one. Maybe you identify with the behavior of a control freak who tends to ignore or extinguish realities that don't conform to your worldview. Or maybe you identify with an escape artist who romanticizes their ability to wing it and easily gets distracted. If you're a nonchalant ne'er-do-well, you'll likely spend most of your time prioritizing maximizing pleasure and minimizing pain over learning anything at all. Or you might sacrifice your sense of self to feel accepted if you're an invisible ingratiator. Maybe stress simply causes you to feel depressed and shut down, so you mostly identify as a Debbie Downer. Regardless of what you identify with, excavating yourself from your uEgo type is no easy task, but it's worth it if you hope to access your brilliance as a learner.